people. Okay? I also spent a full year in open bipartisan sessions, and everybody had a say. All the Republicans, all the Democrats. So what y'all hiding, huh? What is y'all hiding, huh? Because why would you be hiding? Why would you do that? I don't know. Maybe because y'all don't want anyone to see that you just cooped up in a dungeon over a kettle just making a potion.
That's actor, writer, and comedian Keegan-Michael Key. He's channeling, of course, Luther, President Trump's anger translator, on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. The award-winning sketch comedy show Key and Peele made Luther famous. It aired for 5 seasons on Comedy Central. Now, Key is making his New York theater debut in Hamlet at the Public Theater. He plays Hamlet's best friend, Horatio. He also stars in a new Netflix series called Friends from College. He portrays Ethan Turner, a writer who moves to New York City and reconnects with college friends 20 years after graduation.
I have to go.
There's something I really need to tell you.
What? Are you in love with me? You leaving your wife? Should I leave John? I'm sorry. I'm really stressed about Dash.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine, but his school wants me there, so how about if we talk about that when I'm back in Chicago for work on the 14th?
Or we could talk about it in the beginning of September when I'm in New York for the rest of my life, because Lisa and I are moving back there.
What? Why?
For the past decade, I've been dragging Lisa around for all my teaching jobs, and she was ready to come back home. So, reunion, right? The friend group is back.
The friend group is back.
Friend group is
and
back.
So is Keegan-Michael Key, who joins us now here at the desk. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Vlad. It's good to be back.
Yeah. So let's talk about all the stuff that you're doing, beginning with Hamlet. You're playing Horatio.
Yes.
Why? You've always wanted to play that character.
Yes. It's interesting. I thought I should set my sights a little lower than Hamlet, right? There's something about Hamlet, or something about Horatio. He's, first of all, you get to live. That's the thing. Everybody else dies, so you get to live. Mm-hmm. But I also think Horatio is this interesting character. He's like the greatest qualities in a dog. He's loyal, he's friendly, he's helpful, he's dedicated, and so I strive, in my real life, I strive to be like Horatio, to be like that character. I feel like if everybody was like Horatio, the world would be a better place, yeah.
And you trained in Shakespeare.
Yeah, I have a master's degree in fine arts and acting from Penn State, and I did my undergrad. All my education was theater, and I was a dramatic actor. I thought I was going to be a dramatic actor my entire career, and it ended up being that I went on this 19-year detour into sketch comedy that was delightful and wonderful, but actually unexpected.
People loved Key and Peele. Will it ever come back?
It will probably come back in some form, but I don't know, because my partner has retired from sketch comedy.
Now he's a filmmaker.
Really?
So he's a filmmaker now, as we all know from the wonderful Get Out, the film Get Out this year. But I just want everybody to know that, so Peele directed Get Out.
Right.
I promise I will not take the credit, even though 25, love your work, man. That movie was great.
Right.
It was great. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Right.
Thanks.
But I'll take the thanks.
Exactly.
You had Keanu.
And Keanu. We had Keanu, yes. Yeah.
I saw you last night. I went to the show.
Yes, thank you.
And you do inject, though, in what is very dense Shakespearean text, you do inject moments of levity and lightness. And how do you do that when it's a 4-hour sustained play? That must be a heavy lift as an actor.
I think what our director Sam Gold told us to do was, first of all, he said, in his opinion, the best versions of Hamlet he's ever seen have always been the funniest versions, have always been the ones with the most humor. Hamlet is such a man of such mental adroitness that a person who's that smart has to have humor somewhere within them, and so we wanted to infuse humor into the DNA of this particular production, so that you don't feel the 4 hours.
Right.
So that because I think very often the more specific you are, very often the funnier something gets, even if you don't mean it to be funny. The more specific, the more honed in the language is, the more you find humor in it, or you go, oh, cool, that was a clever turn of phrase. So that by the time we get to the real deep, dark stuff at the end, you're not feeling down, you're not feeling trodden, or it doesn't feel laden to you. You go like, oh, this has been fun. Oh gosh, everybody died. So, yeah.
How long did it take you to do that, though, in sort of translating this text into, oh, this is how he would have said it, if it was now? Or if it was
a lot of it was, I used to get in trouble during rehearsal for being too mid-Atlantic and too Shakespearean,
Too mid-Atlantic?
Yes, mid-Atlantic, like, Keegan, you're dropping all your R's. I just,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yes, yeah. And what they wanted, what the director really wanted from everybody, I want your your version
Right.
of Horatio. I want Keegan Horatio. I don't put any loftiness on it.
So you didn't watch anybody else?
No, didn't watch anybody else. I didn't watch anybody else do it. Okay, I confess I was shooting a movie in Vancouver. Maybe I watched Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet at once. But there's an earnestness that you can kind of wash over the character, and he didn't want that. He goes, I want a very specific Midwestern Detroit Keegan Hamlet. That's
Does Oscar Isaacs as Hamilton, as Hamlet
We'll
make
take
it easier?
credit for Hamilton. Please come.
Oscar Isaac
album.
as Hamlet make it easier.
Yes, it does, because his language he makes the language so accessible and he makes it so contemporary that you just feel like you're doing a 21st century play. That's part of Oscar's talent, is that, and maybe you felt this way, Margaret, last night. You're like, are they still doing Shakespeare? Because I know a lot of people go, I'm understanding this.
Right,
so this can't be you're like, wait a minute, why am I understanding this? And so it makes it easier, Charlie. He makes it so accessible. It makes you, it allows you to feel the emotions you want to feel because everything is happening. It doesn't feel remote. It doesn't feel 400 years old.
Well, now that you've done Horatio, do you think you can do Hamlet?
Yeah, I think I can do Hamlet. I feel like, because I'm learning the lines. Don't forget. Watch out, Oscar.
Yeah.
No, I'm learning the lines as I go, and every night the familiarity makes it less formidable.
Let's talk about friends from college. What I think a lot of people will find really interesting about this, it's a ensemble piece, but it's very diverse. And if you look at the poster there that we have, it's very diverse, and that race is not a factor. Race and ethnicity is not a factor at all in how these group of friends interact with each other.
Is sex a factor?
he was buck naked in the very first scene of the first episode.
So yeah, sex is very much a factor. I think it's, you know what it is, Flight? It's just, and we try to do this in Key and Peele too. It's a very human. It's a human story. And we were trying to tell human stories. But my big thing is always tell human stories. And if you happen to have melanin in your skin, terrific, because that's what everyone's going to relate to. I want everyone to be able to watch and glean something from everything I do. It's not a black piece or a Hispanic piece. But there are things that you learn from the textures of other cultures. But it's just people trying to get through in the world.
How well did you get to know President Obama?
I got to know Obama, I'd say relatively well. I'd say we're acquaintances +1.
Yeah.
I'll go there. Let's say that. And I would like to see more of him. Like, I'd love for him to come see Hamlet, you know.
Did he have comedic timing?
Very much so. At the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I thought he was unbelievable. And he had been breaking. He was breaking in the rehearsal. Yeah. Remember everything in the rehearsal?
Osama bin Laden, was that night? Was that?
That was the year prior.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I remember because all the writers, I knew the writers were like, we cut all my funniest jokes. Well, he's just killing the biggest threat to America right now, so let's just put your jokes aside for a minute.
Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
Thank you very much for coming to the table. Keegan-Michael Key. Hamlet is at the Public Theater in New York City through September 3rd.